What's going on, guys? Today I just wanted to do a quick, more in-depth overview of installing the ESS supercharger. It's pretty straightforward. It took me about 6-7 hours to do, and I had my baby monitor set up over here, so I could watch my daughter, just because I stay up at night. And yeah, so pretty much we'll start out with your OEM airbox. Sits right here, kind of takes up this whole area. You're going to want to take that out, and kind of, all the hosing and stuff, move it out of the way. The supercharger, the ESS supercharger, comes with this bracket. You will have to get down in there. I don't know how far down you can see, but about right there where my finger is, they give you all the bolts and whatnot, and it literally is just bolting it in. You might have to back, it's been a while since I've done this, but you just back a few bolts out that are from factory, and you bolt in this bracket to the same spots, just with longer length bolts. After that, you do have your intake with a filter on it. My car got the entire rear lip ripped off on the highway. So that's where the filter is. Goes up into the head unit. It's kind of more annoying than anything, just because the outlet for the head unit is down here, routes through down below into the intercooler, and then you'll just come around here. I did put let me see, where is it? So right there at the tip of my finger, I did just put a little piece of cardboard, because this silicone piping, I don't want it to get cut up or anything by this tab right here. That is metal. I could Dremel it out, but it's not hurting anything right now. When routing the back half of the intercooler piping, you're going to want to disconnect this coolant expansion tank. ESS will give you a line. Where is it? I think it's on the bottom right here. That goes into the bottom of the tank. I don't know if you can see that very well. But I just unbolted this, flipped it on its side, and then that way all the coolant was kind of, away from that end where this line goes into. Wasn't too bad. You're probably going to spill a little bit, which is not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Your MAF housing is right after this U-bend, comes over here under the expansion tank, and your MAF housing is right there. It's a metal pipe. You just unplug your MAF from your OEM intake or aftermarket cold air intake and plug it into there. They do give you an extension wire. It's not routed the best. I just didn't want it dangling all over the place. And then the piping after the MAF, right there, piping just comes up into the intake manifold. You will need, you could probably do this with a pair of dikes, or in my case, I did it with the Dremel. You're gonna have to cut out one of these sections right here on your valve covers. Not a big deal. It's just to clear this idler right here, and it's going to be the driver's side, very corner piece, because if it wasn't cleared, it would hit. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's super easy. That's the only actual modification I had to do to the car. Other than that, it's taking the front bumper off. Mine was pretty easy because, like I said, ripped off the front lip and the shielding underneath, so I didn't really have much to undo besides these guys right here. And as you can see, I just zip tied it. I'm not even gonna bother putting the factory thing back in there. Shit, I don't know where I put it. So essentially what's going in right there is this hole and then that second hole where the bolts go through, and all it's gonna do is come up through the bottom like this. Okay, there's gonna be, I think, two 10mm bolts coming top side down right here that holds on. As you can see, kind of looks like shit, but there's going to be two 10mm bolts, I believe, right here, and then the bolts come in from the bottom up. So once you get those two 10mm bolts undone, you can kind of finesse this out, and obviously make sure that you take all these bolts out up here, and then same thing for the other side. Looks exactly the same. It's kind of hard for me to see, but the hold on, let me get a light. So if you guys can see those zip ties right there, that's it's the same spot, just on the passenger side. Again, just kind of take your time with it, because this really, taking the front bumper off is probably one of the more annoying parts of this whole kit. It's not bad. On the intercooler side, there are, if you can see that bracket right there, that bracket just bolts into where the front, I guess, bash bar, the OEM bash bar is. You can reinstall the bash bar, and that way it just comes in right here. I have mine set off to the side because I don't drive this car a whole lot. But it's just 4 bolts in the OEM mounting location, and right here you can see there's 1 bolt down here, and then this top bolt right here, and then it mounts onto this guy. Your blow-off valve is right under, let me get down real quick. Your blow-off valve is right here, and if you don't have a vacuum block or sorry, vacuum manifold or anything, you can just tee into, they have some instructions and they give you some tubing. You can just tee into a line, that way it runs directly off of an already connected line, which, oh, you don't even tee into it, you just, or you might tee into it. I think I did some weird shit, but this is for my my blow-off valve. Not too difficult. It will get a little bit messy maybe, and it might seem a little bit hectic if you never done something like this before. In my case, I'm kind of a mechanic for a living. Doesn't mean I know how to route wires. But yeah, that's a cigarette. Nice. So yeah, that's kind of the overview. Not too lengthy, in depth. It's, like I said, it's not hard. One other thing, your thermostat, right here. You are going to get a piece, 90-degree piece from ESS, and what that's going to do is shift the thermostat facing towards the front of the car. That way, the bracket, you don't have an issue clearing the bracket or anything. And that you are going to spill some coolant out. It's not a big deal. Just don't be freaked out when shit comes out. You're not gonna drain the whole, coolant system or anything like that. Just make sure you have some spare or distilled water on hand. Don't use normal water, because the minerals and shit in there in normal water can cause like early corrosion throughout the whole system. But don't take my word for it. Do your own research. I use distilled water and water wetter for my whole coolant system, just because how hot it gets out here in Arizona. I believe that is it. Also putting this belt on, that really was the hardest part for me. There's an auto tensioner right down here, and it is a pain in the ass. That is what took me the longest, was getting this stupid belt on. And ESS is going to give you instructions on how to route the belt, because this isn't a separate belt. This is replacing this belt's replacing the serpentine belt. So it's all the same belt, running everything. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Pro Charger uses its own belt separate from the OEM serpentine belt. But this is the toughest part, in my opinion, just getting this belt on, because it's such a tight fit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, actually, no, I lied. For your what was I gonna say? So I have a catch can set up here. It's vent to atmosphere. You're gonna want one if you're boosted in a Coyote. However, ESS does give you lines to go from the valve covers to the intake. These I blocked off because I don't want oil getting in the intercooler and saturating that, and it'd be a pain in the ass to clean, and then getting it all over inside, the MAF, the intake manifold, all that shit. So I just ponied up a few extra bucks, got this vent to atmosphere catch can. That way I can vent it, nothing is recirculating back into the intake manifold, the intercooler, anything like that. But if you don't have the option or whatever to get the catch can, you can plug them in right here and right here. But that pretty much wraps up the video. Just don't freak out about it. Don't sweat it. Take your time. If you have a weekend to do it, you can easily get it done in a weekend. Just make sure you know exactly what bolts go where, what nuts go where. That's honestly my greatest advice. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll try to help you out as best I can. And if there's something I missed, please let me know and I'll touch on that. So thank you guys.